show without talking about Mystery Science Theater 3000, which officially came to the Comedy Channel. I'd forgotten that before Comedy Central was the Comedy Channel.
Do you remember all they had for like about 3 years were the under construction bars that they had at the bottom of every single thing?
Yeah. Their programming was such a mess. They had like Higgins, Boys and Gruber and Short Attention Span Theater and all kinds of stuff. But Mystery Science Theater 3000 was one of those ones that like always delivered. I mean, it's just so funny constantly. And was a great way for people to gain access to the types of movies that they were showing, right? Like back before you were saying, you know, you have Netflix and things like that today. If you wanted to see Santa Claus versus the Martians, like, good luck. You know, you might only ever see that on MST3K.
I mean, it reminded me of when I was a kid. I had this little black and white TV in my room, and my mom wouldn't let me watch it after a certain time. But I would get under my covers with this little 13-inch black and white TV and watch crappy movies on, like, you know, our UHF channels. And that reminded me of that, right? It reminded me of really watching those kind of crappy movies that you can only see on UHF at 2 in the morning. But yeah, for us, again, I mean, it was something that you just bust out laughing with, you know,
because so funny.
Because you're making the same jokes, right? This was before you would watch those crappy movies and you would make those jokes, and now somebody was doing it, you know, with you. And what a crazy in-depth concept for the simplicity of just making fun of a movie, that they're up on this space station and they get shot a movie, you know, every week. And he built these robots to go, like like how they got to the concept of that from just making fun of a movie.
There was no second draft for the concept for that show. They're just like, sure, that's fine. But it's funny because you think about the context for that and what we do today with you know, DVD commentaries and live plays here at IGN, right? Like we're doing this thing that these guys pioneered, you know, several years ago. It's amazing.
And it holds up really well. Like the jokes are still funny, and like the fact that the movies, like now they're more dated, but that almost makes it better. Like that almost makes it more entertaining. So and obviously there's still like riff tracks and all these things that have evolved from it.
I have to say, I was always more of a Joel man than a Mike man. I like Mike,
I agree,
but I always liked Joel more.
I agree. You talk about how quotable Simpsons was. Mystery Science Theater is another thing that's very quotable. I think that's something that geek culture really likes to gather around, is quoting stuff that they love. They do it with Monty Python as well. And I just remember me and my friends always like.
It's like a password. You know, it's like you're a cool guy. We can get along.
Manos, the Hand of Fate, becoming such a big. I mean, I'm sure more people know about Manos, Hand of Fate now after Mystery Science Theater than anybody ever knew about it before.
Nobody knew about it before.
That's exactly it. At least 4 people know about Manos, Hand of Fate now.